Well, with things continue to escalate in the Middle East, I thought it was a good time to show you what a nuclear bomb shelter looks like. The UK is absolutely littered with them. There's one about every 10-15 mile apart in a grid system, and they're not actually nuclear bomb shelters, they are nuclear bomb monitoring posts. So in the Second World War, the ROC, the Royal Observer Corps, was founded to monitor V1, V2 rockets, bombing raids, planes all coming in from Germany and all that sort of stuff. Then in the mid-50s their role changed and they became nuclear bomb observers, right? They built these nuclear bunkers all over the UK. Here's a map to show you kind of how many there are, and that's a big grid that would be used in the event of any nuclear bombs dropping to pinpoint where they dropped, to pinpoint ground zero, the blast, and then afterwards to monitor the fallout. Yeah, it feels like we did actually get that close to nuclear war. Most of them were built between 1955, I believe, and 1965, the real height of it, and they stayed in use until right up until the mid-90s. But yeah, anyway, as I said, there's millions of them about, and I'm going to show you a couple right now. We might even be able to get in one, actually. I've been in it before. It's not the nicest experience, believe me. And so here is one on top of a big hill, so it'd have a good viewpoint, and there it is. This one's on private land, I can't get in there. I think it's pretty good inside, but that goes down about 20 feet under the ground there into a bunker. Yeah. Quite a mad looking structure, eh? They're everywhere. You'll probably see a few now if you didn't know about them before. Right, time to get out of here before I get done for loitering with intent. Woo. So just here in this airfield, actually you can see the hills behind, that's where the other one I was just at was, is another one. Yeah, no more than what, 5-6 mile away from that last one. Yeah. So yeah, there it is. You can see the ventilation shaft, the way in, and that little tower that probably had that GZI monitor on it. Yeah, they're everywhere, they really are. Oh, and that there is Stokenchurch Tower, which is part of that Cold War microwave tower thing, because they couldn't trust cables under the ground not to be damaged by the blast, so they built microwave towers. That one links directly to the BT Tower in London. A little bit further down the road, about another 10 mile away, there was last time I went a couple of years ago, one you can actually get in, so let's go see if it's still open. So yeah, this one's on the bank of the Thames here at Culham, just outside of Oxford. Over there, let's go and have a look, see if it's still open. Here it is in that little wood there. Found it. So this one's pretty, oh, it's definitely still open. A little bit different to the other ones in that it's got another vent port there. Hello? It's so creepy, these places, eh? So this here actually is a World War II anti-tank battery, which I don't believe is that connected. Yeah, look, here's one of the gun holes. I don't think it's actually connected to that, the nuclear bomb shelter under this mound here, but I believe the ROC might have sat up on top of there looking for planes in World War II, and that might have led to why there is a nuclear bomb monitoring post here. Crazy, eh? This one's got all the main features really quite intact. So this was the ventilation tower for the bunker beneath. Yeah, quite a mad looking structure really. Air in, CO2 out. Apparently they would also hang instruments in there and whatever. Maddest thing to me is that there's actually apparently no filtration system. It's very hard to stop against gamma radiation after a blast. They might have tried to filter out some of the fallout, some of the dust that would carry it in there with a carbon filter or something, but from what I can see, it's very limited, if any at all. So you're in there for 3 weeks, the nuke goes off above you. Yeah, it's not going to be mint, is it? You're just going to get sick. And this here, this big concrete slab on top, is literally, if it was an air blast nuke, to stop the force going down, the blast going down and killing everyone in the bunker. So yeah, that is quite mad, isn't it, that really? So yeah, after the blast, almost the most important piece of equipment, it would have been screwed on there, a little sensor to measure gamma radiation. It might have even told you if it was ever safe to leave. Next to it is the BPI, the bomb or the blast power indicator. It would have always had a top on it like that. I don't think it mattered. That is a sensor to tell you how strong the blast was. So that's also all the equipment down in the bunker below would have read it, but that sealed like that, that's how much force there is, would have given you that indication. That's pretty mad, isn't it, eh? So while that would measure the blast, this would be the first thing to measure a nuclear detonation. This is a GZI plate, a ground zero indicator. On top of this would sit an instrument, basically like a pinhole camera, I think. It had 4 holes in it, one in each direction. It was aligned with north, and then it would get the flash from that detonation. The light would come through the holes, burn the paper inside. Obviously, you know, you could see if, like, they can work out the height of the blast from that, and then when they could correlate that with all the other ROC posts in the area, they could actually work out ground zero, which is the area directly below an airburst nuclear bomb. Yeah, mad, eh? So there it is. Just gonna have a look inside it. Yeah, I need a thumbnail, I'd better. Quite a mad like contraction to seal it as well. You can see it goes right down in. This is probably the only way cable in and out the whole building. That would have been probably for the phone line so they could communicate the information out. Oh man, should go in? Yeah. I don't really like this. Oh my god. Right, we're going in. Horrible. Hello, anyone in here? Smells of piss, standard. At least no one can shut the top on this one. Whoa. And there it is. Fucking horrible. That is it. There was a bunk bed in here a little while ago. Would have been against that wall there. This is probably where, that's probably for the air vents, yeah. Gotta be. That's probably the BPI where that comes in, the blast power, or there even. No, that's the bottom of the blast power pipe, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. So very simple. There would have been a 12-volt battery in here powering it. Could you imagine spending 3 weeks in here with 2 other people? And there was only a bunk bed, so I guess 2 would sleep and 1 would be awake permanently. That would be where your Kazi was. I think it's time to get out of here, don't you? I don't really like it. But yeah, pretty mad thing. Pretty mad. So deep under the ground. Let's hope we don't have to use it in the next few weeks. I mean, you imagine if there was a nuclear war, popping your head up out of here just to see everything burn. It's quite an insane proposition, isn't it? So yeah, what a mad thing to see. Probably the maddest thing about them though is that, you know, that we were that close to all-out nuclear war that the government, the British government, decided to build 1,600 nearly of these all over the UK so they could literally pinpoint the blast, monitor you know, get the bomb size, monitor the fallout, the radiation levels. Like, that actually happened, and that blows my mind. That does. You imagine being in one of the villages around one of the towns and seeing your neighbours off to work as they were members of the Royal Observer Corps in their uniforms, because they only went in, I think, apparently at real heightened tensions. Then they would man these permanently, shut the hatches. Imagine being in one, and 3 weeks you might be in there, not wondering, well, probably knowing that everyone you knew and loved is dead, and there's probably not much point coming out. Yeah, the whole concept is insane. Let's hope they don't build some new ones, eh? Mad. Woo, sun's out. Lovely. Right, must get going. It's quite a long drive home. Thanks for watching. Like or subscribe.